Hi friends, welcome to my channel. You're probably very interested in this video specifically because you clicked on the title of this video, so you're interested. What's this all about? Now, if this triggers you, makes you feel some sort of way, makes you feel uneasy, makes you feel a little unhappy with me initially, then this video is most definitely for you, okay? First, I'd like to say, why do you feel the way you feel? So explore that. Why are you uneasy? Why does it make you feel a little triggered? I guess I'll get into the reading before I take a guess that you're going to be triggered. But what I want to tell you guys is that I read tarot cards on the internet. That's what I do, okay? So I do this, and I do this because I want to help people who might be in a position of just lost, okay? They're lost within their own means to find an answer to their issue. They're not quite sure where to go, they're wanting advice, they're wanting guidance, and they're in a tough situation, and totally fair. But when these people watch tarot cards over and over and over again, time and time again, trying to get answers to the same problem for weeks, months, years, and they're doing circles, I think it's time for these people to ask themselves why. Now, maybe you haven't been watching tarot for years. Maybe you've only been watching tarot for weeks, months. But what is it about those tarot readers, including myself, that makes you return time and time and time again? I mean, I don't have anything special that you don't have. Those tarot readers have nothing special that you don't have. I'll tell you why you go back to those tarot readers, because you're wanting an answer to your problem. You're wanting guidance to your problem. But ask yourself, do you need a mediary, somebody to translate the energy they're feeling from you to spirit and the energy coming from spirit back to you? Or can you develop a relationship with spirit directly where the information isn't skewed through someone else's biases, through someone else's life experiences, through somebody else's potential perception? And I know I have great blessing here to have you guys, trust me. And I'm not saying stop watching me. That's not what I'm saying at all. I do appreciate every last one of you guys here. What I am saying is that I do my best to be impartial. I do my best to communicate exactly the energy coming through from spirit, messages I hear from spirit, to you guys as unbiased and unedited as I can, to deliver a message in a way that's going to be delivered. Now, I do know that anything that gets filtered through me is going to have to be in a realm that I comprehend, or else I can't deliver this message. So it's still being filtered through my filter of Lenda, of who I am, right? So my filter of who I am shouldn't taint whatever information that you're needing, all right? Now, I totally understand if you're in a state where you're needing assistance, and, you know, I've been reading cards for a very long time for people, but mostly just friends, and I haven't really, you know, made a business or charged people for reading tarot cards for the longest time, because I enjoyed reading tarot cards, and I enjoyed the information that was being communicated, because there was always something to take away as far as advice, guidance from spirit, and helping the situation. And I would know this because there would be a follow-up, and I could, you know, have the same people either come to me again with the same question months later, and we would work out where maybe there were gaps. And I've had people return to me several times, and I'd have to turn them away and say, okay, this is now at a point where you have everything you need in order to start figuring it out. Now, some people don't like to know that they are responsible for their own future. They are responsible for making shit happen in their life. So it's easy to give that power away. And every time I do a reading, you know you're giving your power away to me. If you're watching another tarot reader, you're giving your power away to that reader to tell you what is going on. So, I mean, the reader can certainly tell you a past energy, and if you're resonating, and a present energy and you're resonating. And if they tell you your future energy, you can certainly believe it to be true and go down that path of that prediction, so to speak, right? Because again, energy is fluid, so there is no real pinpointing of time. So if you're tapping into that reader, they can pick up a future energy as they can the past and the present energy. So if the past and present are most likely accurate, chances are your future is as well, as long as that reader is ethical and honest. However, if that reader isn't giving you some takeaway, something to ponder, some sort of tools for you to go out into the world and really start to develop your own intuition and your own ability to make your future happen. Because honestly, like, this is a little bit perplexing to me because it goes against what I believe. I believe that you make your own future. You're responsible for creating your own reality. So, you know, if a tarot reader, I was going to say a fortune teller, if a fortune teller tarot reader tells you what your future is and you hear it and you say, well, I don't want that to be my outcome. And so you start to take action. You start to implement something in which you're wanting to happen. So you're initiating some sort of energy, action, intervening with whatever it is, then I would say that reading helped you. Because a reading isn't set in stone. And like, even in my, my disclaimer there, I say readings aren't set in stone. Energy fluctuates. So it's going to be, if you're sitting in the same type of energy frequency, what you're most likely expected to see, which is a huge indicator of everything that you've kind of done up into that point. So if you're returning to tarot readers over and over again, and then you start doing circles and you notice you're not improving your situation in any which way, and you're kind of stuck in this limbo land, then ask yourself, am I taking action, or am I giving away my power? And why am I giving away my power? Is it because I don't want to take accountability or responsibility in case something doesn't work out, and then I have to be responsible for that and accountable, and it's easier to not have to go through that? Now, I'm trying to wake people up, okay? Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping to the reality of your own future? Are you sleeping to making decisions that empower you in order to change your current situation in a way that you're going to get an outcome that you want to see? I cannot do that for you. No tarot reader can do that for you. So if they're promising you wonderful things, I mean, great if that's the energy you're on, but most people who are experiencing delight in all these wonderful things most likely aren't the people watching tarot card readings. A lot of people watch tarot card readings because they're in a state of needing some sort of guidance, or they're trying to develop their own channel between them and spirit. Because once you develop a strong channel between you and spirit, you're not needing tarot readers as often. There might be a few that you trust and a few that have a different perspective. I still watch a few tarot readers because I just really am in awe of their ability to tap into spirit in different ways that I won't be able to do at this point. But the information that they're giving me, I take with a grain of salt. Like, what am I able to do here for myself that I'm able to implement in my life that's going to change what I want? And that's solely up to me and my relationship with spirit. So if your tarot reader isn't supporting your relationship with spirit or helping you to empower yourself, then ask yourself, is that the right tarot reading for you? And why is it that you are doing circles? Are you sleeping? Okay, because we're all under this guise of what's going on in the world, and this, we've been suppressed for many, many, many centuries, and we're being called to awaken. We're being called to recognize who we are. We're being called to understand that we create our own reality with our thoughts. And we've been programmed to believe that, you know, everything that we want is external to us. Everything that we're trying to get a gain for ourselves is out there, but in reality it is within us. It is our ability to create with our thoughts, with our intentions, with our relationship with spirit, with our knowing, to bring in the happiness that we deserve, that's rightfully ours. So yeah, this video essentially isn't to poo-poo on tarot readers at all. I think tarot readers, the ones that are communicating information in an unbiased way, are definitely required for the stage in which they're bringing in their people. I think we all vibrate on a certain energy frequency. So if you were drawn to my channel at some point, then we were vibrating on the same frequency. And my intentions is always to help. My intention is always to provide some sort of guidance and some sort of information on the utmost truthful wavelength, but to provide the viewer with something that they can take away to help them in their situation, not for them to keep coming back looking for answers in the exact same way and believing that I am the only way they're able to get this information, that they are not capable of having a relationship with spirit, and one in which they're able to interpret and connect on with their own filter, with their own energy. And I can't replicate that. Nobody can replicate that for you. And that's when you have the power. You know, that's when you certainly have the power. Though I can't stress enough that there is something to be said about helping people who are not in the position, or don't realize that they're in the position just yet, to get that information. So if you are watching tarot cards, I'm not trying to shame you into thinking, you know, that you're kind of missing something at this point. I'm just pointing you in the direction that, how long have you been watching tarot cards? How long have you been giving your power away? Is it time for you to awaken? Is it time for you to recognize that you have the power to implement whatever changes you're wanting to see in your life? And if you haven't been doing that, then you are asleep. You're still sleeping. You're not awake. Okay? Be conscious, be awake. And if you are leaving a tarot reading with information that helps you to feel empowered to change an outcome in your situation, or to feel like you have more say and you can create your reality and your outcome, then I say that's the feeling that you want to have, that you want to take away from every reading that you have. And unfortunately, I mean, there are readers on the internet who may just say what it is that you want to hear, which, I mean, could be another form of healing at that point in your life, and that's fine. I'm not saying one reader is better than another reader. There could be some readers that, you know, solely stick to the negative, and they're giving you this information because they want to help you, but constantly ringing on a negative vibration may just bring in more negative thoughts. And some readers are just right out there and you can't even relate to what they're saying, but there's some sort of truth and some sort of dimension that they're hitting into, that maybe eventually at some point in your life, everything that reader said starts to make sense. So all readers serve a purpose on the internet. I believe that to be true. Obviously, if someone has malintent and they're not delivering the truth, or they're just kind of in it for a gain, then, I mean, that's their own karma to have. But I feel like if you're interacting or experiencing those types of people, then there's obviously a karmic thing on your end as well. So we're not going to draw in, we're not going to be sucked into anything that we're not supposed to be. But what I am saying is that we can unconsciously be in a loop and consciously be doing circles time and time again, going to the same readers when we've already had the ability to graduate from that cycle of learning. Okay, so it's up to us to graduate from that cycle and not give our power away when we have the ability to take back that power and utilize what we've learned to make decisions that are going to help empower us and change the outcome of our future. So, I mean, are tarot readers a good thing? I think so. I think they're a good thing. But what I think is that it really depends on where the viewer is at and how the viewer is utilizing them, and that I cannot control. So if there are viewers coming to me and they're not capable of, and I believe everyone is capable, so I use that term loosely, but if you're not in a position to allow yourself to awaken because you are in a state of wanting other people to find answers for you, or for whatever reason, I can't control that, and maybe that's the lesson they need to learn. And what I am committed to is always delivering the message that you are empowered to make your own decision, and I will keep trying to wake you up, and developing your intuition and your relationship with you and spirit is definitely one that you can strengthen over time, and you don't need anybody else to get in between you and spirit to deliver what is right for you. Okay, so I will continuously do that, and most of my readings I like to provide guidance, and I don't say one way or another which way you're supposed to behave or what you're supposed to do. I can give you a perspective and say, if you're continuing down this energy path, here's the likely outcome. Here's the likely outcome, and here's what spirit is suggesting. And what you do with that is certainly up to you. But people are implementing this in their fucking lives. So, I mean, that's a heavy cane that one is swinging on the internet. And I realize, what that looks like. I don't care if I have one viewer, hundreds of thousands of viewers. To me, that power is great power. And I am not taking that lightly. I will never tell somebody something in which I feel is going to ruin their lives or give them misinformation where this could be something they're going to implement and create havoc in their lives. The information I'm providing is directly coming from my relationship with spirit in relation to your energy and what spirit is communicating to me, in which I trust. I don't second guess the energy I'm feeling from spirit. And, if something doesn't feel right, then I start to question it. But my intention is that spirit is giving me the truth for the greatest outcome, the greatest purpose of whatever message I'm delivering when I'm channeling. And I'm very comfortable in that zone. So I know it's coming from spirit. I know it's coming from a place of truth, of a place that, I'm tapped into and I'm familiar with. And I won't let any energies that are intervening or trying to divert get in the way. Okay, so that's for some of you guys who've, been asking about, or where I've seen people be like, how do we know where this information is coming from? Or how do we know, that this information is coming from a good source? Because it fucking is. Okay, because it fucking is. I'm not channeling negative energies here. When we're channeling information, if our intention is to deal with spirits and that's the information we're tapping into, I put the intention out there that there's no negative energy, no entity, no person, no nothing that's going to come in between my mission of delivering what information I'm getting from source, from spirit, okay, from a high level of trust and of knowing. That's the only way that I know how to put it. And if it doesn't feel like it's coming from that place, then I don't say it. Because it obviously takes some time for you to understand where your mind is getting involved. And our mind, as we know, is just amalgamation of our own programming, of our own perceptions, of our own, negative, positive biases that we've experienced. And I don't want to taint any of my readings with that, because you don't need to have my experience. Now, sometimes I'll say this advice is coming from me, because I know when I'm delivering something that I would think would be helpful as a friend, because I care as a person, as a human, for another human. But rarely do I do that. And I always say, this isn't spirit saying this is me. But sometimes I'm even surprised what spirit's communicating. And I mean, I deliver it either which way, because I do want to always communicate to you guys what I'm hearing from spirit, regardless if it sounds bad or good. And I've had readings where people say, this made me feel bad. And I say, good. Because what's the opposite of that? Being complacent and asleep? So if you feel bad, I mean, yeah, okay, bad. Like you feel like an energy of having to review something, and sometimes we got to go to that place in order for us to have a breakthrough. Sometimes healing hurts, right? But if you feel like it's coming from an evil place, or a place to misguide you, then that's bad, if their bad even exists. But at least it's providing you contrast. So, and if a reading does not resonate, guess what? You just resonated with my reading. Why? Because you know what it's not. You know what your energy is based on what it isn't. So if I tell you something, you're like, that's not true. Well, then there you go. Now I helped you to give you contrast. You clicked on a reading to find out a truth of sorts. Now you know the truth is that whatever I said is not what it is. So you're left with what are you left with? You're left with the opposite of what that is. Now you have some sort of area to go digging into, because you know whatever I said wasn't it. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to get that out there, because some of you guys may be in that tarot reading trap over and over and over again. And I'm just here to give you a wake up, to say, are you asleep or are you awake? And are you implementing the changes that you need to do things differently in your life? No tarot reader is going to save you. You're not ever going to find the information that you're looking for that's going to change your whole world. But occasionally you'll come across a reader that gives you information that will make you see something differently, and then you can start to implement these changes and get you going, get your juices going. But don't give your power away to anybody. Okay? So I love you guys very much. I hope I don't lose you. I do appreciate you guys coming here, and hopefully you guys are evolving. Click on the videos that you feel are going to help you to ascend. And if we are vibrating on the same level, I feel like as these videos progress, I feel the messages are coming in a timely way in which you're needing to hear whatever takeaway you're needing to hear in order for you to implement it into your own life, however you see fit. Okay, so maybe a bulk of a reading might resonate, and maybe only fractions of it. But if we're vibrating on the same level, I feel like there are messages in there that you may need to hear at that point, that's going to help inspire you, help to give you another idea, plant a seed for something in the future that may come to you when you're living in the present. Okay, so I love you guys very much, and I will see you soon. Bye.